Bulletcast for life.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Bulletcast. We are the only sports recreational podcast that is simply just too sweet. I don't know what number we are this week, but we're on iHeartRadio. That's a good thing. I'm the Podfather. I'm the reigning, defending Bulletcast champion, just like Roderick Strong, Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish, and Adam Cole, baby. This championship reign is #forever undisputed. I'm joined by the man who dislikes you if you're from Vancouver, Toronto, Montreal, all in the same. I have the Canadian Destroyer, Brandon. How's it going there, man?
It's going great. I feel invincible today because I just got my flu shot. Everybody out there, go get your flu shot. We don't need the whole world to be sick, and
I don't know about
we don't need the plague to happen again.
I had a flu shot, and I got like a cyst in my throat after. I don't know about the flu shots, man.
Well, because I have a great immune system.
Then again, this was like 5 or 6 years ago, so it doesn't really matter. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, let's get the performance-enhancing audio. We got a lot to talk about. We got Evolution, we got a nice heel turn on Monday night, and we have some upsetting news. So let's hit that first. So, Monday on Raw, former Universal Champion Roman Reigns makes his way down to the ring to announce that he has leukemia. He's been battling it for 11 years. Diagnosed when he was 22 years old, and unfortunately it has come back. So on Monday night he had to relinquish the Universal Championship. I don't know exactly like how long you have to go through the treatments to beat leukemia. I don't know exactly what that entails, but it's opened the door for some guys on the roster now, unfortunately, that Roman has to step away and deal with this. I heard your Under the Radar episode. Yes, go check it out in the archive. You talked about it. I got back together with Chris on the top 5, and we discussed this. But since we're in the same room together, let's get our thoughts about Roman and leukemia. Let's talk about it.
When it just comes to Roman Reigns announcing that he has leukemia, I don't think there's any other way to talk about it. You just say, I'm sorry, this sucks. This is like, we also, All In's the biggest story of the year, possibly. Nope. This is the biggest story of the year. Roman Reigns, the top guy in the company, announcing that he has cancer. And I wasn't alive when Magic Johnson announced that he had AIDS. Lou Gehrig announcing that he was sick, having Lou Gehrig's disease. And there has been other athletes out there who have announced they have cancer, other life-threatening illnesses. But when it comes to like somebody at the top of their game in their prime, I think this is kind of, it's wrestling, so it's not the same as a real sport, but it's kind of in the same ballpark as Lou Gehrig and Magic Johnson.
It's in the same realm. I understand. I mean, Roman's 33 right now. I looked back and did some research about top guys in WWE at 33 years old. Roman, he's main evented 4 WrestleManias in a row. Hogan, what was he doing at 33? WrestleMania 3 with Andre, probably the most famous match of all time. John Cena, WrestleMania 21, the co-main event, winning the WWE title at 33. Stone Cold Steve Austin had just started that feud with McMahon. So Roman, some might say light years ahead of those guys at their stages in their career when they were that age. You could make that argument, but it's an unfortunate news. And I was watching Raw, and I said this on the top 5. I'm going to say it here again. Did it take this man announcing that he has cancer for you people to cheer him?
I mean, are you going to boost? Okay, I said this on Under the Radar, so this is why you got to listen to everything. Because basically we just argue with each other, even though we're not even talking to each other. I said I have boo-booed on Roman Reigns for his entire career. I didn't like him as the top guy because I didn't think he felt right, and he replaced Daniel Bryan and CM Punk. You got to make Roman look good. That was all Roman Reigns' character. I said it when he was cutting that promo. He wasn't Roman Reigns. He was Joe on Hawaii. That wasn't the character. That was the real man. And when somebody, I don't care who it is, I mean, as much as I don't like Stephanie McMahon, if Stephanie McMahon goes out there and announces she has breast cancer, we're all going to cheer her and be like, okay, go on and beat it and come back and
absolutely.
Don't try to blame the fans for cheering somebody that they boo all the time, because if he announced that he tore his ACL or separated his shoulder or something like that, people probably wouldn't be just a-holes about it. But I think some people might cheer and be like, oh, thank God he's not going to be the champion anymore. But this is life and death situation. Probably, I mean, God willing, he's going to come back or even just survive it at the very least. So, I mean, Don't put that on me, Ricky Bobby.
Whoa,
Don't put those demons on me.
I mean, when he came out and made this announcement, I don't know. Were you watching wrestling in 2011 when Edge announced that he had to retire?
Yeah.
I mean, this wasn't a retirement speech, that's what he said, but it had that same feel, you know. That's probably the best that you can compare it to. So Roman walks up the ramp, he's on the stage, Dean and Seth come out, Seth's all blubbered, he's red-faced, Dean kind of keeping his emotions intact, and then they do the shield fist, and that was pretty emotional, man. And then, of course, the WWE uploads footage of him going back through Gorilla. He's talking to Paul Heyman and Hunter and HBK and Strowman and all that other stuff. But I want to read some tweets that some people have put out. John Cena said, "Courage, strength in the face of pain or grief. You have given us your everything, including a courageous, vulnerable moment. We, your WWE family, give you all the love and support. Hashtag thank you, Roman. Hashtag never give up." Bubba Ray Dudley put Roman greater than leukemia. What else is there? Oh, Finn Balor. His real name is Joe, and he's a stand-up guy. Inside the ring, one of the best I've battled with. Outside of the ring, one of the most genuine people I've ever met and learned from. See you soon, good brother. Hashtag thank you, Roman. And he smells great. Also, Madison Square Garden put up on their marquee, "Thank you, Roman. Get well soon." New Japan, they reached out to Roman and said a champion transcends companies and all that other stuff. So, Roman Reigns, we do hope you get well very soon. Come back. Go kick Leukemia's ass. I saw somebody put on Twitter that he's going to Superman punch Leukemia or something like that. So go do all that. We want you to get well soon. Alright, so Crown Jewel is apparently going on as planned. WWE issued a statement about it. I believe it was yesterday. They said they are aware of what's going on. But
I hope they're aware of what's going on.
Yeah, but they have a contractual obligation to fulfill. But John Cena and Daniel Bryan are apparently refusing to work Crown Jewel due to what's been going on over there with the journalist being killed. So if Cena and Bryan don't work Crown Jewel, what do you think happens to the show? Or the card, rather?
Well, first off, I'm not shocked that WWE announced that they're going on as planned, even though I was very vocal in saying they should pull out because morals and taking a stand against the First Amendment and murder is much greater than, $100 million or however much money they're making, because they're making enough money.
45 mil.
They're making profit. They don't need this money. I don't know laws, and I mean, if this gets taken to a United States court, I'm pretty sure they're gonna be like, side with WWE, be like, they killed these people. They killed this person. You didn't need to do it, and all that other good fun stuff. But coming back to John Cena and Daniel Bryan, I talked about on Under the Radio. You can go listen to that. Just came out on Tuesday, every Tuesday.
Yes.
Around 6 p.m. Eastern time. But it looks like John Cena definitely is not going to be on the show. And Daniel Bryan, I don't know, he doesn't have the same pull. JBL said on, I think, Busted Open Radio or something, that he's an independent contractor. He can do what he wants, and he's not going to get punished for it. I don't think that's real. But on SmackDown, did they show a graphic about their match happening at Crown Jewel, specifically?
Yeah, they've kept it going as the WWE title match is still going to happen. John Cena's still in the World Cup. They've kept that stuff. Yeah,
because the John Cena one, he's not gonna. I can already tell you he's not gonna be there. Daniel Bryan, he might not be there, but I think, as someone who's going to Survivor Series, I would much rather that match be at Survivor Series than be at Crown Jewel. That's just me being selfish, but also it's like a big time match, and they're just gonna put it on this, house show that they're making all this money for. The Samoa Joe AJ Styles match was a really good match. This match is probably going to be the same. When it comes down to morally, I don't feel comfortable watching the show. I don't feel as an in-ring product it's going to be that much of a good show anyways, because it's going to be 2 or 4 50-year-olds main eventing in a crappy tag team match. But I'm going to be very interested to see what the presentation of the show is going to be. Are they going to put over Saudi Arabia like they normally do, or is it just going to be like a show, like a SmackDown TV taping where they're in some little town in Alabama where they don't even say where they are, they barely show the outside of the arena, and it's a show. We're not telling you where it is, we're not doing anything to put over the city. This is us doing a show, and there you go.
Look, if Cena and Bryan don't work Crown Jewel, this is what you do: throw AJ in the World Cup.
Boom.
I guess that's he's the WWE champion, the quote-unquote best in the world. Have him win the World Cup, prove he's the best in the world. There you go. It's just that simple. Well, moving on from all the Crown Jewel talk, Fox wants SmackDown to be have more of a sports feel when that deal officially kicks in October of next year. I'm all for it, What about you?
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. Fox Sports being, one of the biggest sports entities, probably second behind ESPN, maybe even first. Who knows? But with it being on the broadcast station, they want to be able to plug it. They probably have a lot of synergy between NFL, NBA, NASCAR, whatever other sports they have on that channel. And I mean, there was reports that Daniel Cormier took a tryout. Cormier isn't going to be long for MMA much longer. I mean, he's going to retire probably by middle of next year at the very latest. He's probably going to have a match with Brock Lesnar, maybe a match with John Jones, and he's a huge wrestling fan. If he wants to come and I don't know, is he just going to replace Byron Saxton because he's the token black guy? Maybe. I don't know.
I'll fill that chair.
But I mean, I love New Japan. I love NXT. That has more of a sports-like feel. I don't know. Do you just put Triple H in charge of it, or do you? I don't think I can trust Vince McMahon to run a super sports-like feel because he's never ever really done that. I mean, when has he ever had a sports-like feel? Like, even in the most successful time, which was the Attitude Era, it wasn't sporty. It was just characters and all that other stuff. I mean, they did the Brawl for All. That's kind of sporty, but that just kind of fell flat on its face.
Yeah.
They've done King of the Rings and other kind of tournaments, but that doesn't have a serious sports feel. I don't know.
It'll be interesting to see what happens when we get to that time in 2019. Last up on Outside of the Ring, John Cena's Elbow Grease. His new book is New York Times bestseller, #1.
Children's book.
Congratulations, big match, John. Big moves. All right, Inside of the Ring, Jeff Cobb, a man I have interviewed. He is the new Pro Wrestling Guerrilla Heavyweight Champion. He defeated Walter Ford. Congratulations, Mr. Cobb. He has the Ring of Honor television title, the APW Universal title, and now the PWG Heavyweight title. Got a lot of weight in the bag, man. Congrats. Another new champion is Nick Aldis. He is a 2-time NWA World Heavyweight Champion. He defeated Cody Rhodes at the 70th anniversary show for NWA in a 2 out of 3 falls match. I'm not going to lie, I was a little disappointed with the result because, as you guys know, I'm a Cody guy. I thought him having the NWA title was cool. It put more eyes on the NWA. Was Cody winning the title just for All In? Most likely. Was it 7-week reign? I don't know, but then again, Dusty, 3-time champion, didn't have it all that long anyway. What are your thoughts on this?
As Jeff Cobb, friend of the podcast, it's good to see him.
More of a friend of the Reno Scum.
We're not gonna talk about them. He's definitely rising up the ranks and not getting any old. He's not getting any younger, so it's nice to see him be ROH champion, be PWG champion. PWG, I'm going to Survivor Series next week or next year, next month, next day, tomorrow. What day is it? I don't even know. I took the flu shot. I think I'm hallucinating. I can't even speak. I think my tongue's swelling up. You know what? Maybe I do have a cyst in my throat. You know what? You're right. I don't take the flu shot, people. Anyways, PWG next month. You got to run a show on the Friday before Survivor Series because I'll go. It's literally right down the street from the Staples Center, the new theater that they run. I'll take an Uber for the first time ever by myself in terms of using the app. And one time
we almost died.
The other time I was hammered. I didn't even know where I lived. But anyways, good for Jeff Cobb, Nick Aldis. I guess it makes sense if Cody wasn't long for the company. You said maybe he was just there for All In, but it did sort of, I wouldn't say pop a rating, but it definitely got people talking about the NWA again. They've been doing good stuff with their YouTube series. With Nick Aldis, he's a good, solid hand in the ring, solid heel, just kind of a traveling world champion. Like back in the day, he can go to all the different territories and he can, lose by disqualification in a bunch of matches around the world. And I don't know who's a free agent or who's a babyface who can be that serious top guy in the NWA, because I thought Cody Rhodes honestly could be that top babyface for the NWA if he wanted to, but it seems like everybody's moving towards NXT or WWE. And you didn't even talk about the rumored big time promotion with Chris Jericho and Jim Ross and the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Look, I needed a little bit more clarification on that, okay?
But anyways, maybe the Young Bucks and the Elite are just going to start their own promotion, and it's going to be the new whatever day Monday Night War thingy that's going to happen. Who knows? Even though Chris Jericho just totally shut it down on Twitter. Which he would totally shut it down if it was happening, and he would totally shut it down if it wasn't happening. So I don't know what to
You never know what Jericho's up to. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about Inside of the Ring. Or no, not Inside of the Ring. This day in wrestling. Jesus. Alright, WWE Rebellion UK in 2002. The most notable match from that, Edge takes on Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman to try to win the WWE Championship. And then WWE Cyber Sunday from 2008. I remember this. I ordered this pay-per-view when it happened. There was a special guest referee in the world title match between defending champion Chris Jericho and challenger Dave Batista. It was Stone Cold. He got knocked out for a little bit. Orton comes down there. He gets laid out by Batista. HBK comes down there doing that whole little thing with Chris Jericho. All in all, Batista wins the world title. Jericho gets stunnered. Then they raise hell together with some Steve Weisers. In other news, CM Punk, the quote-unquote best in the world, he is 40 years old today. Happy birthday, Phil Brooks. And Taka Michinoku is 45.
It's crazy how Taka's 5 years older than Punk, and yet they were like on their peak, 20 years apart from each other in terms of being in the U.S. I mean, I know Taka did amazing things over in Japan, but he was there during the Attitude Era, and then Punk being in the early 2010s. I mean, just them being, that just shows how young Taka was when he was doing his stuff over there.
Yeah.
On Raw, it's crazy.
Being light heavyweight champion and all that other.
But shout out CM Punk, one of my favorite wrestlers ever. Keep drooling over him. Hopefully one day he comes back, but
we'll see.
If he doesn't, that's his choice.
That is his choice.
Because the UFC thing is not working out for him.
It is not. Alright, fan mail, ladies and gentlemen. We got one from Paul Playley. If you put together a woman's Evolution stable today, who's in it? Ooh.
The 4 Horsewomen.
That's simple. It's just that simple, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, so what do you mean by an all-woman stable?
Yeah, he didn't give us a number.
I mean,
I'd like to see the 4 Horsewomen actually run as a stable.
Which one? MMA or UFC?
I'm talking about the wrestling,
WWE.
Wrestling one.
Well, there's a little rift right now with Becky and Charlotte. I don't know if that's going to work out so well.
Somewhere down the line, somewhere down the line.
Sisters fight.
Sisters do fight, but they make up also. So we'll see. We shall see. All right, Mr. Toledo.
Holy Toledo.
Yes,
Shut
Holy
up,
Toledo. Let's get it. Mr. Kennedy, MVP, Damian Sandow. One of these 3 men.
It's Murderer's Row right there.
I'm sorry. Out of one of these 3 men, you bring back to WWE, and why?
So MVP,
Mr. Kennedy,
and
Damian
Sandow. Well, MVP, he's kind of old. I mean, so is Kennedy, but I mean, MVP, we saw him at that APW show that I attended and wrote an article about that you cannot see on GoldenGateExpress.org.
But you can watch the Jeff Cobb interview.
You can. I mean, MVP, I think he might be the funnest to come back. I mean, maybe Damian Sandow, but if Damian Sandow comes back, if he's not going to come back as Mizdow, he's going to come back. Maybe he comes back as a whole different character.
The intellectual savior.
We saw how that worked out at TNA. We do not want him to have his own character. I mean,
yeah, he played a Liberace, a Jace character, and that was interesting.
I mean, out of everybody, I think I'd probably pick MVP. I think we can have a lot of fun. The matches probably aren't going to be that great, but I think the promos and just the build up of him, I think that'd be fun.
I was watching some Smackdowns back from 07, man. MVP had a pretty nice run. The Players Lounge, the whole thing with Matt Hardy, his matches with The Undertaker. He had a nice run, man. I'd like to see MVP back.
And he still kind of looks like MVP. He has the body. He has the leotard, so he can kind of hide his body.
Yeah.
And he kind of looks like MVP still. So
he doesn't want to work like a full schedule. I've heard him say that. Just TVs would be cool. I mean, so yeah, I'd like to see that. Do we have any more?
Sure, why not? Just keep it going.
I think we have one more. Let me find it. It's deep in the archive here.
Jeez, so many text messages. He's such a popular person.
I really am. All right.
Straight to the source, not even from the email. While he's looking at that, I set up an email bag for my show Under the Radar, and I haven't checked it in the past couple days, but pretty sure nobody emailed me. So if you want to email me questions, there's anything you want to email. It doesn't even matter if it's wrestling related. It can be life advice. If you want to ask me life advice, which I don't know why you would, but if you're looking for something, if you need help, you can email me at utrmailbag@gmail.com. That's UTR for Under the Radar. See what I did there? So utrmailbag@gmail.com. Email me whatever you want. So Philip, hit me with it.
All right. So we have a WWE ratings question, or we have an Impact Wrestling question.
Let's do both. Who cares? We never talk about Impact. Let's talk about both.
All right. So the shows for Impact have been have been showing more action, more entertainment, but the WWE is still making pancakes. Is there going to be a change within the WWE that brings more of a viewership from their loyal fans? I guess that ties into the ratings too.
So he's asking if there's something that WWE can do to bring back their loyal fans. I think at this point the ratings are so low, the only people that are watching are the loyal fans.
That's very true. Alright, and then there's ratings. When ratings have been down, how long can they go? And are there independent wrestling promotions actually defeating WWE? What's going to happen next? No indie promotion is defeating WWE. It's just that simple. WWE, they're the juggernaut, they're the quote-unquote big dog, all that other stuff. They're not...
There's no independent wrestling. I mean, you can maybe argue New Japan is beating them. Maybe, I mean, but not even like New Japan, their house shows, like, yeah, they don't run as many house shows as WWE does. So I don't know the numbers. WWE is a publicly traded company, so we get all the numbers and we can digest it. It might be allotted sometimes, but you know, WWE is still the big dog.
Rough
in the wrestling world. So, I mean, as much as we crap on them and say that they're going downhill, which they kind of are, but they're making so much money from television deals that they don't
give a rat's.
Well, I mean, you should give a rat's ass if you're going downhill and ratings are sliding to all-time lows since like the mid-90s. But you got to remember, ratings are like a percentage of who's actually watching. So just because people are watching it on TV, there's people who watch it on like YouTube and other forms. But there are like, I have figured out that apparently if you watch like the live stream on your computer, that technically counts to a rating. So I mean, what is like 3 million people or some maybe like 2.5 million at this point are watching Raw, which is still a lot of people watching a wrestling promotion. It's not as much as it used to be, but maybe if the Cody and the Young Bucks and the Jaguars guy gets it together and does something by 2019, maybe it might not get as big as WWE, but it might be better than WWE, and it might, you know, maybe by 2020 or 2021, maybe we have like a real war on our hands.
That's very true. I'd like to see another war, you know, kind of like what happened with the Monday Night Wars, or
because I say New Japan, they're a Japanese promotion. They're not gonna, you know, I'm not gonna say it, between a Japanese and a American company. I was gonna go somewhere, I didn't. If you know what I'm talking about, you know where I was going. But you know, they take a shot inside America and they try to they try to run some sort of like not a secondary promotion, because that wouldn't work because people would realize it's secondary promotion. But if you try to do something and have like an actual show in America and run shows there, I think that's the only way New Japan would actually gain ground in the US, because the Access show, it's just reruns. People who like love New Japan and will go to these shows in the US. I mean, maybe there are probably some people who just watch the Access show, but I know for me, who wants to watch everything as it happens, I want to watch it live, and I want to see the Kevin Kelly and Don Callis, and you know, Jim Ross does a great job, but I just feel like Kevin Kelly and Don Callis and the others are more knowledgeable, and I feel like they love it a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, if a war does happen sometime in the future, that'd be nice to see. Light a fire under Vince's ass and all that other stuff. But let's get on to Monday Night Raw. Let's talk about this show, the flagship show. So, of course, we start off Raw with Roman relinquishing the title. We just mentioned that. So we're going to move on to Finn Balor defeating Bobby Lashley. Nice to see Finn pick up a win on Monday nights over the newly heel turned Bobby Lashley. Interesting.
Yeah, the reason this might happen is because apparently Lashley might have a separated shoulder. Very big injury, so if he needs to get some surgery, he needs to get that done quick, or else he's going to miss WrestleMania. A little bit of a disappointing for Lashley to be gone for such a long period of time. Looks like WWE's catching a little bit of the injury bug right now, with Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, I mean, even Alexa Bliss. Samoa Joe is being rumored to be injured. I mean, I know it's not an injury, but even Roman Reigns, a very top guy in the company. There's a lot of big holes being in WWE right now, and especially on Raw, like a lot of people are being out, and with Lashley, the Leo Rush character, I mean, I thought it was kind of maybe weighing a little bit, little annoying.
That's the point.
But yeah, but when you're talking throughout the entire match, you're not.
He's kind of doing what was his name? Abraham Washington with the primetime players.
Until he made a Kobe joke and he was gone.
Well, Leo, don't make any Kobe jokes and you'll be fine. So yeah, all right. Moving on from that, Ruby Riott defeats Sasha Banks. Yeah,
Good for Ruby Riott. Just 50-50 booking, going up to the pay-per-view.
good for Miss Riott. All right, D-Generation X, the Heartbreak Kid, and the Cerebral Assassin. They're in the ring. They're cutting a promo, and then we get some graveyard footage of the dead man and the big red monster hyping up Crown Jewel.
Okay, so this segment, in its entirety, for two different reasons, was terrible. The DX promo was hot garbage. They're just going back and forth, and it's just kind of like the old frat bros who think they're still funny, and they use the same jokes from 20 years ago. And I mean, I don't know if I ever said this on this podcast, but like the selling point of this match is, DX and the Brothers of Destruction are getting back together and going to wrestle for the first time ever, and that's the reason why you should watch this match. No. The reason you should watch this match is because HBK is coming out of retirement for the first time in 8 years, and he's going to wrestle. Like, has that even been, like, said once, except for the very first when he made the announcement? Like, is it this hard? Like, is this Triple H being, like, putting himself over being Triple H, or is it Shawn Michaels, I don't know, trying to downplay what he's doing because he's just taking the payday, and he just wants to leave, and he's not going to come back and wrestle again?
Well, I mean, look, I kind of understand now why Shawn's coming out of retirement. I mean, the Saudi money's huge. The blood money, that's what I like to call it. Actually, I call Crown Jewel blood money in the sand. But Shawn, like, he gave this interview years ago when he was asked, like, how old your son is. This is, like, 09. He was like, he's 9. So, he's almost at that age when he's out of the house, and that resonated with Shawn. Gave us another year. His kid was 10. Now his kid just went off to college. And so he's out of the house, and then his daughter's like 16, she has her own life, so that's kind of what's come with the decision of Shawn to come out of retirement. So I kind of get it now. But yeah, like you said, they haven't really mentioned Shawn coming out of retirement. This is huge. You know, this was the one guy out of like Hogan and Funk and Foley. He was the one guy that stayed true to his word and was never going to wrestle again.
And Stone Cold.
Well, Stone Cold, yeah.
Well, he never had an official retirement. It was just he rode off into the sunset.
I mean, that was a pretty nice retirement, so to speak.
So the second part of this promo was the whole Undertaker Kane thing in a graveyard with tombstones talking about death on the same show where a person announced that he has leukemia, and we don't know if he's gonna ever wrestle or if he's gonna, have a healthy life or, God forbid, live again. Like,
yeah, so that it was.
You shouldn't have done that.
It wasn't the most tasteful thing that WWE
could have held off on that and release it on YouTube on Friday, or do it then just plug and place it in the next week. Maybe you just have that as like an inset pro. You can just do some voodoo stuff with the Undertaker and Kane if they're going to be there on the show. You have them in the graveyard. You do some lightning. They disappear and then they appear in the ring. Like. It's the Undertaker and Kane. You have a lot of leeway in terms of reality you can work with.
Yeah.
You could have just had the terrible DX promo on its own and then not have the death promo on the same week as the Roman Reigns announcement.
That's not one of the most tasteful things WWE's done. I mean, they've done a lot worse. But, yeah, they could have moved some stuff around. All right, next up we have Paul Heyman's promo when he discusses Roman Reigns. It was Paul Heyman talking about Joe, talking about how he's a badass, he's from wrestling royalty, he's gonna fight this, and then he didn't use Roman's leukemia announcement like to his advantage, talking about Brock. He just kind of segued into Brock versus Strowman and how Strowman's not as legit as his client and how he thinks Brock will regain the Universal title. Then Strowman comes out there, and I guess he's a babyface again.
They already kind of foreshadowing that last week before the Roman Reigns thing, but I think because of Roman, you definitely have to fill that gap of the top guy in the company with Braun.
Braun comes out there and says, Roman and I had some differences in the past. He's going to beat Leukemia. And when he comes back, he's first in line for a title shot after I beat your boy and become Universal Champion. Then he gets hit with a amazing Claymore kick by Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, it seemed. I don't think like Roman addressed the locker room before he did this. Maybe he pulled Seth and Dean aside to tell them, but I think it was definitely a close knit group of people who actually knew what was going to happen on that announcement. So I assume Paul Heyman had a completely different promo he was going to cut that day, and he only had like an hour and a half, 2 hours to make to reach or whatever, like an hour and a half to change it up. So I mean, kudos to him. He was able to think about this on the fly, and it's Paul Heyman. You would expect him to do something like this. It was a decent promo. I mean, you can't really grade a lot of things on this show in terms of execution, just because there's probably a lot of script write-ups and people dealing with emotions. So, I can't criticize it, but I thought it was good. And I actually really liked the Braun Strowman promo. I thought it was straight to the point. It's probably the best type promo that Braun can do. And I thought like just him yelling a couple sentences, get the crowd riled up. And I think it works a lot better when Braun talks in front of the crowd, because you kind of get more of the energy going. Because when he starts yelling, but it's just a backstage promo, he's just yelling to silence.
I thought it all worked out really nice. All right, Elias goes on to defeat Apollo Crews. Nice to see Elias went on TV. He hasn't really wrestled that much lately. Nice to see him pick up a win. Any thoughts on it?
It's just 50-50 booking. One person wins one week, the other person wins the next week.
Yep. All right, Kurt Angle he cuts a promo, not in attendance of the crowd, of course, but it was a little video package or whatever.
Kurt Angle cut a promo about the World Cup and talked about every single competitor and why they are a great wrestler and how they will be a big competition. And could somebody please scroll the teleprompter up? I can't see what I'm saying. Jeez.
Yeah, it was not obviously not Angle's best work. He just talked about every competitor, like Brandon just said, their accomplishments, what they've done, how they differ, and all that other stuff. It was nothing special. All right, Elias, I guess he turned babyface on Monday night. He tried to play us a song or two. Baron Corbin comes out, says we really don't have time for this, shoos him away. While Corbin's talking to the audience, Elias smashes him in the back with the guitar.
So I guess I have issues with this. Why did Elias just turn out of the blue? There was no foreshadowing. There was nothing to... I mean, he's been a babyface, I guess, this entire time, except for when he heals on the crowd, but that's his entire act. So now when he comes out and now he's a babyface, what's going to happen with the songs? Is he just going to get cut off by heels the entire time? Because his entire shtick is saying "Walk with Elias," which gets a huge pop, and then he buries this town he's in, which kind of gets ironic boos, but, like, what is Elias going to do now? He's not the best wrestler in the world. Is this kind of Vince taking somebody that he likes? Because we have to remember, Elias was in NXT. He didn't get a big push.
He didn't do anything.
He didn't do NXT. He didn't do anything in NXT, and yet he comes up here and is like maybe top 5 on Raw. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, he's an interesting NXT result. I don't know what this truly means, but I guess Elias is babyface now. I don't know. He gets a nice reaction, like you just said, with the Walk with Elias, and he'll probably just start putting over towns, I guess. I don't know.
I can also just see, like, it's Baron Corbin. He doesn't really have any redeeming qualities. He did it just to do it, and then he's just going to come back the next week and do the same shtick over and over again. Maybe,
possibly.
Maybe he does face baby faces, like or he faces heels going forward to where he's supposed to be cheered. But I think like his whole shtick is burying the town and healing up a little bit. Maybe he does it with kind of a wink and a nod and be like, I'm just having fun out here. I don't know. This one's a little bit more of a mess than the Braun Strowman turn.
True. Very true. We shall see what happens. All right, Ronda Rousey, the Raw Women's Champion. She's going up against Nikki Bella this Sunday at Evolution. And so Nikki and Ronda, they have a contract signing, hyping up their match. What did you think of it?
I thought it was good. There's always the thing of somebody says something about their mama for 5 minutes and the babyface just stands there and takes it, which wouldn't be in what would happen in reality. But but I thought in terms of execution, we can talk about this a little bit more on the preview, but I thought they've been doing a good job with Ronda and Nikki and Brie being the mean girls. And
do nothing Bellas.
Yeah. Anyways, it's a good segment between the three of them. Ronda played it up nice, just being cool, calm, and collected, and just saying, I'm not going to touch you because I know I'm going to get you on Sunday. You can say all this stuff now, but once we get in the ring, I'm going to tear your arm off.
Yeah, it was cool, calm, collected, straight to the point.
Bull bomb elected. Shout out YG.
It's going to be interesting to see this matchup this Sunday, and like you said, we will talk about that once we get to those predictions. All right, Ember Moon defeats Nia Jax, Tamina, and Dana Brooke.
Good for her.
Shout out. All right, now this was something very, very nice that happened. So, the Shield, being Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins, they go on to defeat Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler to become the new Raw Tag Team Champions. The match was really good. It was great. I think they were in Providence, Rhode Island, I believe, and the crowd was hot for it. They were all for it. They needed something heartfelt to happen after what happened with Roman Reigns, and a massive pop when these guys win. And then on the night, it just made sense. They've been teasing the Dean Ambrose heel turn all this time, and you didn't think it would happen on the night that his friend announces that he has this deadly disease, that Dean Ambrose would turn on his other brother-in-arms, Seth Rollins. They win the tag titles. Dean hits him with the dirty deeds. Oh my God, it was beautiful. I loved it.
So I guess we're in agreement that it was good timing.
Oh, it's perfect.
It wasn't distasteful, because I think there are people out there
That brings me to this.
Okay.
Tommy Dreamer tweeted about the people who think it's distasteful, and he said this: "Such negativity towards WWE for Dean Ambrose turning on Seth Rollins last night. At this point, if you are offended, I say it's time to stop watching wrestling because you just don't get it."
I think Dave Meltzer was one of those who was. I don't listen to Dave.
I don't listen to
so
Dave
I don't know
either.
exactly what his exact reasoning for it was. Which I do understand why people would say, like, okay, just let him have the good moment and just go on into the sunset and have them be the tag team champions. Then you can do this eventually, because I think eventually Dean was going to turn on Seth. But I think right now Vince had to do some last minute changes and be like, you know what, just so much energy and emotion is going to be in this night, and if Dean does this, it's going to. I think it's going to mean a lot more if Dean did it that night than if he did it,
a week,
3 weeks or 3 months from now.
Yeah,
and
it's all about timing. It's all about emotion. Vince knew exactly what he was doing with that one. And then Dean, of course, attacks him outside of the ring, rips up the mat, DDTs him again on the concrete floor. He has a Raw Tag Team title in his hand. This is what you want, throws it at him. I like it, man. So what I can see going forward, I think I heard, was it Bimbo Jimbo talk about this on In the Click, his podcast with Baby Huey. He talks about how Dean can say Roman was the glue that held them together. He doesn't have a problem with Roman, but he never really forgave Seth, even when they were going to reform last year and win the tag titles from the Bar. He never really forgave him, and I think Seth was mouthing something to Dean after the first DDT. Seth can kind of go along the lines like, "Hey man, I know I was an ass before, but I'm sorry. I apologize," and all this other stuff. So it's interesting to see where we go with this whole turn. And plus, they're the tag champs. What I would like to see, like, just some real bad blood. Let Dean Ambrose be a hard heel. If they have to defend the tag titles, they just start attacking each other once the bell rings for them to defend the match to defend the titles, man. I want to see stuff like that.
Yeah, the future of the tag team championships is up in the air. I think it'd be fun to see them like go up against the Revival or something. That's a way you can put it on the Revival without the Revival actually like beating them, I guess. But back to the singles feud of these two. I mean, it does make sense. Dean and Roman were always. I mean, Seth was the one who turned, so it was always Dean and Roman were the close ones after the breakup. And then once everybody got back together, Dean and Seth kind of had their issues because when Seth Rollins came back, Dean was the one who was like, I don't know about this dude. And then when Dean comes back for his injury, then Seth is the one kind of making snide remarks about Dean Ambrose. So it made sense. I do think they maybe skipped a couple chapters, but I'm okay with them skipping these couple chapters because it made a whole lot of sense to do this. And on Under the Radar, you can go check that out. I talked about how this should definitely. I feel like this should be the WrestleMania. Maybe not main event, but definitely for the Universal Championship. Having Seth Rollins win it, and having Dean Ambrose just be that dastardly heel forever. What I would love is for Seth Rollins to sell the hell out of this injury and just be gone for like a month, and maybe makes his return at Survivor Series because I'm selfish and I want to see it. But I mean, just for him to sell this, he took a DDT on the bare concrete. Like, can we sell this for at least a week or two? Hopefully a month. And that would just make Dean look that much worse. And I don't know if I would trust WWE to be tasteful and relating the Seth Rollins thing to Roman Reigns and like them both being out at the same time, because one's legit and one's not. So I don't know if I would trust WWE to play up that card.
I don't think they'd expedite.
Well, I mean,
so to speak,
I don't know.
Roman's.
I wouldn't put it past them.
True.
oh my God, on the same week, both the Shield members are gone, and well, Dean Ambrose stands tall.
Look, what needs to happen on Monday Night Raw? Dean Ambrose needs to cut a fire promo.
He does.
That needs to happen. That needs to open up.
He will. I mean, I don't have any doubt in him.
He needs to open up Raw with. We start off Raw with Dean Ambrose just in the ring. He doesn't get an entrance. He's in the ring. We get like the crowd's in black, a spotlight on him, and he talks about why he did what he did.
Yeah, it all kind of comes back to Roman Reigns. I don't know how they want to frame this, because I mean the realistic part is like, Roman, as you said, Roman was the glue, and once Roman was gone, I had no reason to trust Seth, and so now I just took my aggressions out on him, and yeah, we won the tag team championships, but you don't want to degrade the tag team championships either, because technically they're tag team champs, and you don't want to be like, oh, I don't care about the championships, just throw them aside. Even that's pretty much how they are at this point.
Yeah.
But that promo is going to be straight fire, straight up Becky Lynch.
So Drew's going on with Braun, Seth and Dean have their thing, and Ziggler's back in the abyss.
I mean, this kind of sucks for Ziggler, because Ziggler was
happens.
kind of having a renaissance, so to speak, of
couple months
of him. I mean, does he stay just kind of? I mean, oh boy, he's gonna be the job guy for Drew McIntyre. He's gonna just. I can already see Braun Strowman versus Dean.
It's that flu shot, man.
Flu shot, man.
Telling you.
I can see Dolph Ziggler going up against Braun Strowman every week on Raw, and Braun just squashing him.
That I can see that also. R.I.P. to my boy D Ziggles. All right, we got.
You want that plaque? It's still for sale. $200.
$200.
Yeah.
All right.
Pink and blue. It doesn't match anything, but
let's talk SmackDown Live.
It's a piece of history.
Let's talk SmackDown Live. So Big Show versus Kofi Kingston results in a no contest after the New Day and the Bar get involved in all this other stuff, and then the Bar and the Big Show, they stand tall over the Day of New. Xavier Woods gets knocked out. Kofi gets chokeslammed like 5 times. Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't here last week, so Big Show turns for like the 500th time. Maybe he gets like a bonus for that.
Yeah.
But it's just going to be something to build up 6-man tag matches. I guess, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, it was announced that what was going to be Crown Jewel. The New Day gets their rematch to go up against the Bar, I guess. So that's interesting, I guess. It'll be a good match. I have faith in all those guys to put on a good show, so we'll see. Alright, moving on from that, the Usos defeat AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan once again for the second straight week in a row. They defeated them on SmackDown 1000, and on Tuesday they had some miscommunications. AJ went for a Pele kick. Bryan was holding one of the Usos. Uso gets away. Bryan takes the Pele kick. Bryan also came with a phenomenal forearm. In the end, the Usos, they went with the Uso Splash. They did the little wrist cock showing support for their cousin Roman. So good job for the Usos, man.
Yeah, I wish we could have had some sort of promo with the Usos to, maybe not exploit the Roman situation, but just have them.
They had something backstage on YouTube that
that's backstage on YouTube. How many people saw that? Like 50,000, 100,000? Exactly. You could have done something with them. Like, I know it's a fine line. You don't want to exploit the situation, but that's the cards you were dealt, and it's a real life situation. They're cousins. I saw them post like a picture of like all 3 of them, and like look like a school photo or something. It looks so cute.
Yeah, back in the Pensacola days.
But once again, I don't want to be like exploiting it, but if the Usos can like kind of take this and maybe be bigger deals, to be honest, because they've just been floundering away in the. If you're not the tag team champions on SmackDown or Raw, you're not really going to get any TV time at this point.
Not doing much. That's true.
But I don't like when it's like 2 baby faces in a title situation and they just build it up by having them lose back and forth, and them like having these dumb miscommunications that are clearly accidents. And then we can get into the backstage promo. That thing was atrocious.
Yeah, it was interesting. I guess the only thing I could take away from it was Daniel Bryan, the Too Sweet, was like, "This is how you do it, right, brother?" Oh, I thought that was. I don't know why I chuckled a little bit. I was like, "Huh."
That thing was dumb. It made AJ look dumb. It made both of the guys look like petulant children.
Daniel will be a crown jewel anyways. Who cares?
I mean, Daniel did the whole Pinocchio gimmick where he was like, making his nose grow, and AJ looked like a complete idiot. He was like, "What are you doing? What are you doing? Oh, it's Pinocchio, isn't it?" I was like, "Yeah, AJ, you couldn't see that for the first 10 seconds, you idiot." And both of these guys, I love both of them, but neither one of them came off likable at all in this situation.
I don't know what to say about it. I saw, honestly...
See, let the record be shown, I criticized Dana Bryan.
Yes, he did. Honestly, when I saw that little bit, I saw the whole, "This is how you do it, right, brother?" That's the only part I saw of that.
The whole thing sucked.
Alright.
It was terrible.
Well, Becky Lynch, she has been straight fire as the SmackDown Live Women's Champion. She and Charlotte Flair had a brawl at the Performance Center. What was it, like last week or something like that? Well, Charlotte was talking to the young talent down in the Performance Centers. A lot of these women were in the Mae Young Classic.
The young girls?
The young girls.
And you know who were the young girls? Shayna Baszler was there. Candice LeRae was there. Bianca Belair was there. Why are these 3 top NXT women sitting there like a herd of cattle, sitting there with their young girl shirts on, all matchy-matchy, listening to Charlotte? And Shayna Baszler did play it up, I think, really well. She was kind of rolling her eyes and still keep it in character. But, like, you can't...
Why were they listening to Charlotte? Multi-time women's champion. Walked out of WrestleMania with the women's title.
But isn't that kind of degrading that Bianca Belair you can kind of see because but Candice LeRae and Shayna Baszler, like, do they really need to be like?
They're not on the main roster.
Do they really need to be? They're not young girls. They should not be young girls, especially Candice and Shayna. They know what they're doing, especially Shayna. Like, she's a badass.
No, I love Shayna Baszler.
But you can't fill. Like, how many people do they have at that Performance Center? Is that lit? I hardly believe that is every single woman that is in the Performance Center they could have got.
I think they were just there to be like, "Oh, hey, there's so and so." That's really what I want to be like. Or they were just working out at the Performance Center, like, "Hey, we got to film this thing for the Charlotte Becky story. Here, come be a part of this."
Anyways, back to the actual segment itself. Charlotte lecturing the young girls. And one of the young girls asked her, "What is it like going up to the main roster?" And then she's like, "Oh, it's all about introducing your character to a new audience." No, Charlotte, it's about winning. And when you go up to the main roster, it's a higher level of competition, so you have to elevate your game. It's not about introducing your character, because who cares about merch sales and ratings? It's about winning championships and making money because you're winning championships.
That's all true. It's all about championships. I mean, introducing your character does have something to do with it, all that other stuff.
Really, if you're... Okay, we go and we have like the hottest prospect in AAA, and he has a press conference talking about him getting promoted. Oh, so what do you think the biggest thing is going up from AAA to the majors? He's not going to say, "Oh, it's introducing my character to the fans." No, it's about watching film and being the best player you can be.
I mean...
Once again, sports-like feel.
Once the Fox deal comes in, we'll get a lot of more of a sports-like feel. But yeah, then they have a promo going back and forth where they're not even in ring together. It's one of those things. I guess that's the best way you could have hyped up their match at Evolution. Way to go!
It's the biggest women's match on SmackDown, and yet you're putting them not even in the ring, barely even like live. You had Charlotte do that awkward kind of backstage promo that almost kind of looked like Kurt Angle's thing, reading off a teleprompter.
Yeah.
But I mean, Becky, the only promo time she had was that. Like, you can't have them one last showdown or something. Like, that was just... We can get into this with the Evolution preview, but I have some things to say about Evolution.
Yes. Alright, Rusev defeats Aiden English. Nothing special there.
Or Aiden English. Looks like they're moving on.
Yes. Alright, Miz TV had Rey Mysterio as the guest. Miz was talking about Rey's coming back. Mysterio's like, "I didn't come here to be on some second-rate TV show. I thought it was going to be on Truth TV." It ends up them having a match. Mysterio defeats Miz.
I thought the Mysterio-Miz match was good. I'm not going to sit here and say it was like fantastic by any means, but I think...
It was cool. It's fine.
But I think it definitely can be like a longer-term story with these two. Miz, I think, I think the styles kind of mesh well a little bit. Miz is very safe. Mysterio's not doing his high-flying as much as he does, but he kind of is selective with his spots. And Miz TV, obviously, Mysterio's going to say a couple words and he gets cut off by the heel. That's what happens, but I think Mysterio played his role nice. He has, I think, maybe a little more confidence, and he's delivering what he should be doing.
Yes. All right,
And he looks good, by the way. He looks slim. He's not jacked up like he used to be back
a couple years ago.
Back in the day. He's looks slim. He's not as small as WCW Mysterio, but he looks good.
Yeah, he looks nice.
Nice balance.
Looks pretty healthy, man. All right, I'm not gonna lie, this was pretty atrocious. So there's a battle royal at Evolution. Winner gets a title shot sometime in the near future. We don't know when.
I mean, Naomi's still waiting for hers from her fallopian tube trophy.
Was there a title shot on the line for that? Or I thought it was just the trophy.
I don't know, but remember she complained on Twitter, I don't know, last week or this week about how she won the battle royal at WrestleMania, and she's still waiting for her title opportunity. I mean, maybe she has.
They didn't say that was for her title opportunity.
Well, I mean, maybe realistically, if you win like some big battle royal, you should be like kind of like at least second or third in line to go for the championship.
That does make sense. So anyway, like the Iconics, Lana, Asuka, Naomi, basically all the women on SmackDown.
Carmella, Zelina Vega.
Oh, hey, shout out Carmella.
She did the dance break. I mean, come on.
She did do. I love the dance. She should have a dance break right now.
No, that was like the only We're going a little long. We can't have a dance break.
All right, next show. Yeah, but all the women on SmackDown, they just brawl with each other.
Even though I'd love to see you try to do the floss.
Hey man, I can bust a move
That's
now.
not the floss, but okay.
Oh, I'm saying I can bust a move now. Back in my day, you know. But anyway,
you're younger than me.
But anyway, yeah, this wasn't good at all.
Yes, this is just standard stuff you do for like the Royal Rumble, or I mean, obviously the Royal Rumble was a bigger thing than this, but it was just like you saw it coming once once the Iconics came out. Like, okay, now they're just gonna parade every single person out there, and it was just annoying.
Yeah.
Like I popped for the Carmella thing because you knew what was coming, but everything else was just kind of dumb.
Yeah, everything else was. All right, moving on from that, Shane McMahon. Here comes the money. The SmackDown commish. He talks about the World Cup and best in the world. The fans start chanting CM Punk. He says, yeah, he's not in the tournament. And then this promo leads to Randy Orton versus Jeff Hardy. Again, I don't know why. Why hasn't Jeff Hardy been out of action since Hell in the Cell, taking that bump that he did inside the structure? I don't know why. Anyway, Randy Orton, he brings back the three most deadly letters in WWE, RKO, to defeat Jeff Hardy.
Yeah, the main event, it was fine for what it was. The Shane McMahon promo, I'll be honest, I didn't even watch it, but just hearing what happened, I thought it was hilarious about Shane. I mean, the promo itself was dumb. I was just kind of skipping through, like, okay, is he going to talk about anything important? But no, he just he did the exact same thing Kurt Angle did. He just kind of put over all the people in the tournament. I did think it was funny about the whole CM Punk thing, because he's not like Stephanie. If Stephanie hears a CM Punk chat,
she's going for it.
Well, yeah, well, she can heel on the crowd, and that's how you can diffuse it. With Shane, he's a face, so he has to diffuse the situation without being an a-hole to the crowd. So he's in a tricky situation there. And I think WWE's asking for with this whole best in the world thing.
Yeah.
Maybe they should just say they're the best in the world at what they do. Then you get Chris Jericho chance, or Y2J chance.
Oh, of course. Absolutely. Yeah, so what do you think of Orton versus Hardy?
Could have taken place in 2018, 2008. It would have been the same slow, methodical, decent match.
Yes.
2005. I don't know.
Was Jeff there in 2005?
I don't know. But I'm just saying this match was exactly, we are who they thought they were.
Yes.
And we let them off the hook.
Yes.
You don't even know what I'm talking about.
I don't.
Exactly.
All right, it's Evolution time, ladies and gentlemen. This Sunday, WWE puts on the first ever all-women's pay-per-view.
And what do? We're going to have two men fight over a championship.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Yes, we are. Some other people may come into this too. I don't know.
Where's a woman? Have we even had a woman on this show?
That's what I'm looking for, a female counterpart to join us, man.
Needs some estrogen.
Yes, absolutely, we do. All right,
Sausage party. Sausage party over here.
All right, Evolution.
You know, that's a good movie. You guys go watch Sausage Party.
Evolution, this championship is on the line. Let's get into it. Sasha Banks, Bayley, and Natalya go up against the Riot Squad. I'm going Riot Squad.
Okay. Then I will go with Sasha, Bayley, and Banks. Sasha, Bayley, and Banks. That makes a whole lot of sense. Banks, Bayley, and Natalya. It's a little bit of a disappointment to see Sasha and Bayley just get on this show in a throwaway 6-woman tag. I mean, it looked like they were building up to something with maybe them like recreating the magic they had in NXT, which is kind of like, I wouldn't know if I'd say the peak of like the whole women's evolution in terms of the in-ring product, but these two women are like one of the main reasons we're even, the main reason we're here. I mean, we all know it's Stephanie.
Oh,
But in terms of the in-ring product, I think Sasha and Bayley are probably like the two biggest deals in terms of women's wrestling in the past 5 to whatever years.
absolutely. All right,
Best women's feud I've ever seen. I'll be honest.
the Women's Battle Royal. There are a lot of women in this. A lot of the women we just named: Selena Vega, Carmella, Asuka. There's Ember Moon.
Basically, everybody who's not in a singles match is on the show, with some
Legends.
some legends in here.
Ivory's coming back. Tori Wilson, I believe, is coming back.
I think Medusa's in it too, right?
Yeah. Alundra Blaze, Medusa. Yeah. So, who do you think? The winner of this gets a title shot, by the way.
Is this like an official thing?
This is an official thing. The winner of this gets a title shot somewhere down the line.
So I can't just say like AJ is going to come back, even though that's my dream. Is AJ comes back? Do we see AJ on this show?
Do we see AJ Lee on this show? We don't know.
I mean, it is in Long Island. She's a New Jersey girl.
It's a possibility. You never know.
I would love for that to happen. I wish they just. I know all the bridges were burned. They were burned. They were pissed on the ashes.
Fired her husband on his wedding day.
It was bad. But I'm just like, can we just give AJ the respect she deserves? Like, can we just put her over? Even though, might be a little biased here, but come on, I want to see AJ.
I do want to see AJ.
Can we get Eva Marie too while we're at it?
Oh, Eva Marie, she mentioned in a recent interview she would like to return to WWE.
I mean, I think that would just be the ultimate troll job, just having Eva Marie come out and just act all sexy and put over that she's a part of the Women's Revolution too. I mean, I would love that.
Oh man, just have that entrance. I missed that. It was great. But who do you think wins the
Bay
Battle
Area
Royal?
native. Shout out.
Who do you think wins the Battle Royal, man?
I mean, there's so many people. You can go with Asuka. I mean, maybe Tamina as a dark horse. I honestly don't know. There's just so many people, and with these battle royals, you can go any which way. Any which way. I will go with Asuka, because maybe they're gonna finally do something with Asuka, because Asuka thrown in a battle royal on this women's card, which is actually a really good card if you look at it. Like, this is, in terms of in ring, there's some good matches on here.
Yeah, I thought about it too. I was thinking Ember Moon, but I thought about it this morning. Asuka, let's build her back up, man. Let's do something with it. I'm going Asuka. That's just how I see it, man. All right.
I'm tempted to change my pick now, but it's just there's so many other people I don't want to risk it and be like, oh, Tamina Snuka's gonna win because she's gonna put over Ronda Rousey because it's gonna be Snuka Rowdy too.
That'd be interesting. All right, the NXT Women's Championship is on the line. Kairi Sane defends against Shayna Baszler. I'm going Baszler.
Okay, I will go with Kairi Sane on this one. I wouldn't say this was an easy pick for me, but I thought this was something. There's this one in the Mae Young Classic. I honestly do not know which way they can go. They can go either way, and I think Kairi Sane, being the champion, I think holding on to that thing for a little bit longer. I think honestly, Bianca Belair is the next opponent for the NXT Championship at War Games. I mean, I haven't seen any spoilers, so I might be wrong on this.
I don't see it possible for Kairi Sane to beat Shayna Baszler twice. I mean, if you saw the thing on NXT that she did with Britt Baker, I thought that was really nice. Kind of build her up. If she does that this Sunday, and we get ref stoppage and a new champion crowned, okay, that'd be pretty cool,
But I think they've been kind of doing hot potato with the championship a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think Kairi Sane, I was kind of disappointed on this week's NXT where they did a really good job with the Shayna Baszler video packages, but they didn't have any face-to-face confrontation, which I thought would have been nice to see. But I think Kairi's gonna win, and then she's gonna face Bianca Belair.
All right, I love Bianca Belair. Shout out.
She's undefeated.
Yes. All right. As of right now, it is still Trish Stratus and Lita going up against Alexa Bliss and Mickie James. Now it's rumored
with Alicia Fox sitting on the bench.
Yeah, it's a rumor that Alexa has either a nose injury or a concussion or something of that nature. She wasn't in the segment where Trish and Lita get assaulted by Mickie, so Alicia had to jump in. But who do you have for this, man?
I think I'm gonna go with Trish and Lita.
Really?
I think they're gonna win. I'm a little bit more. I think your pick with the Riot Squad winning earlier, I think that has probably a better shot of actually happening. So I'm a little scared of that one. But I think with the Legends coming back, Mickie James doesn't do anything. Alexa Bliss can talk a way out of losing, I think, and she can blame it on maybe you do have Alicia Fox there at ringside, and Alicia Fox messes the whole thing up. So I think you just put the legends over, and it's gonna be a nice, fun moment.
Look, I'm going Bliss and James.
Okay,
all right,
there you go.
Look, they compete all the time right now. When was the last time Trish had a singles match? Like 11 plus years ago. When was the last time Lita had a singles match? When was the last time Trish had a match was like WrestleMania 27?
With Snooki.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Come on.
Hey, Snooki with the back handsprings.
I'm going with the women who are competing today.
Do we see Snooki in the Battle Royal?
Let's please, God, don't do that.
I mean, come on. Snooki was not that bad.
Wendy Richter.
And
I'd like to see her in there.
Snooki's in good shape now. She's,
Nicole Palazzi, whatever the hell her name is.
Jersey Shore, it's back every Thursday, which is Thursday.
God, don't use that MTV2 talk over here.
It's MTV. They're on MTV1.
Oh.
It's Jersey Shore. I mean, come on. And I watch Florida Bama Shore. that show's atrocious, but I love it for all the wrong reasons. Then she has a show called Tattoo Far. How Far is Tattoo Far? Which is
I think I've seen the preview for that.
It's a very crazy show, especially the last.
I wouldn't watch that.
The last episode was a little crazy.
All right, the Raw Women's Championship. Rowdy Ronda Rousey is going up against Nikki Bella. I got Rousey.
Me too, and I don't know why you have this in the middle of the card. This is the main event.
I didn't.
This is the main event.
I don't know.
This is the main event.
Look, it's going to be interesting. What I would like to see, because Nikki Bella, she was on the In This Corner podcast with Bryan Campbell this week, and she discussed the divas and all this stuff and how we were a part of this evolution. Like, don't look past us or whatever. Look, what I would like to see for Survivor Series, Team WWE Superstars with Ronda Rousey captaining it with God knows who, and then Team Divas, Nikki, Brie, throw Alexa in there, yada yada yada. That'd be something I'd like to see.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they're doing at Survivor Series for Ronda. I mean, maybe they do the thing where I said where it's just kind of Tamina and Ronda. They just have something where Ronda gets a convincing win over somebody. But as I said earlier, I've been really enjoying this build. I mean, early on, a couple months ago, we all knew that Nikki and Ronda were going to face off, and that was going to be the main event. I was kind of rolling my eyes like, okay, Nikki, she's the big reality TV star. You're going to put her up against Ronda. But I think they've done a really good job with this build. They have. And it's been, I don't know if I'd say surprising, because I think Nikki has definitely gotten a lot better with her promo skills, and in-ring, she's definitely better than Brie, which might not be saying a whole lot. But the one thing when it comes down to the actual matches, I'm pretty sure Nikki's going to get way too much offense in, but, I mean,
it's whatever.
There's not much I can ask for.
I think the match will be better than what we expect.
Yeah, I think they're going to use a lot of bells and whistles. I think Brie's going to get involved a lot. And I think it's going to be a fun match. Will it be the best technical match? No, but I think it's going to be very entertaining, kind of like a lot of the Ronda Rousey matches are.
All right, the 2018 Mae Young Classic Final. I want to say Io Shirai.
Yeah, it goes either way. I think it's Io, but I don't know.
Io Shirai versus Toni Storm. I got Toni Storm.
Okay. You've been kind of going on a limb. And you know what? We already have the tag team matches differentiating the NXT matches. I feel like my girl Toni Storm is going to overcome this drought that she's had against the Japanese talent. She beat Satomura in the semifinals, which is a great match, even though I just spoiled it for you. You guys, you should go out and watch that match. I have the match pick. That's my secondary match pick of the week. You should definitely go out and watch the Mae Young Classic. That match was great, but I think it just tells the story itself. Toni Storm, she lost to Kairi Sane last year. She's going to goodbye Io Shirai this year. Toni Storm's a star. Toni Storm, she's like 21. She's so young. She's so charismatic. Great.
She's 21?
She's something like that. She's really young.
Wow.
Like her and Rhea Ripley, I think they're kind of like the future of.
I love Rhea Ripley on Twitter.
I love her on Twitter. I mean, shout out Tegan Knox. Sorry, Tegan. But Toni, I think she's great. I think Io Shirai, however you say it. I think she has. I mean, this one can go either way. So I'm not.
Is that the one with the Aussie moonsault or whatever?
Yeah. I don't think she's hit it clean once, but that's just me.
Yeah.
Toni Storm, I love her. Hopefully she wins, and bigger things to come for Toni Storm.
All right, what I think should close the show: the SmackDown Live Women's Championship, last woman standing, the champion Becky Lynch. She's the man. She's the man. She's going up against the daughter of the original man, Charlotte Flair. This is interesting. Could we see a double turn here? Possibly. Nothing changes with Becky. She's just the crowd can still cheer her. Charlotte turns heel, the crowd boos as they've been doing recently. I don't know. Could Becky, if Flair, let's say, is at ringside for it, could Becky attack Flair? That's a possibility. But the question is, who walks out with this championship? Because what I want to, this has to end the feud, and what I want to see is on Tuesday, Becky starts a program with the winner of that Women's Battle Royal. So I'm going with Becky Lynch.
It is a last woman standing match, which they had the thing with AJ and Samoa Joe where you could get the heel to win by fluke or whatever, which didn't happen in Australia. I picked Samoa Joe to win because I thought maybe they would do it, but they didn't. Becky's my girl, and I think with her being the heel, it's just this one. I mean,
Charlotte will bounce back from this,
and I think Charlotte needs to get away from this feud as quickly as possible.
She needs to get away from the title for a while.
I think I'll go with Becky just to win. Maybe it's kind of a fluky win since it is last man or last woman standing. Maybe they do some sort of thing where she. I mean, do you do like some corny finish where she like gets pinned under something and that's how she escapes? Or if you actually do it, I mean, it is kind of like a mid card match. It's not. I don't think this is going to be the main event. I think maybe semi main, but I think Triple H, because got to make Triple H look good. I think maybe the Mae Young Classic might be the kind of the buffer match, which. That match is going to be the best match of the show. I'll tell you this right now. If they get the time, if they go longer than 15 minutes, that's the best match of the show. Bar none.
Very true.
So, I'll go Becky.
All right.
But, so, Evolution overall, I know we're going really long right now, but...
It's okay, we're almost a real podcast.
But Evolution, I mean, this was, when they first announced it, it was this big thing, and Stephanie comes out and puts herself over, because that's what you gotta do. You gotta make Stephanie look good.
Gotta make the McMahons look strong, damn it.
And, like, this pay-per-view, if you can even call it a pay-per-view, it just... it probably has the stink on it because of the whole Saudi Arabia thing. I think people, I mean, when they first announced it, I kind of saw for what it was. Like, oh, it's just a kind of a PR thing of them putting themselves over. And they keep saying it's the first ever all-women's pay-per-view, which is not true. There's Shimmer, there's...
For WWE.
Well, they don't always say that because I was watching the Mae Young Classic, and in the semifinals, they announced the winner goes on to...
Does Shimmer have pay-per-views?
They're specials.
Do they have pay-per-views?
I mean, is this even a pay-per-view?
Yeah.
Let me come on.
It's a pay-per-view.
Right. But I think this show is maybe not as big as it could have been or should have been, but I think it's just kind of... I mean, we even talked about it on SmackDown and Raw. This was the go-home show for the women's pay-per-view, and the only one that got any major TV time was the Ronda Rousey-Nikki Bella thing, which is the reason why I think it's the main event.
True.
And this is just... I mean, even on NXT, like, it was the go-home show for that one, and they had the huge angle with Aleister Black. And
we know who did it.
Johnny Gargano's a heel now, so that should be fun.
Johnny Gargano.
But
shut up.
I think it's one of those pay-per-views where it's like I'm not excited going in, but when I watch it, it's gonna be a fun show.
Yes. All right, let's hit it. Superstar Spotlight. Who do we got? I got Johnny Gargano, man.
You know what? If you're going to go Johnny Gargano, I'll go with Aleister Black. I thought Aleister Black coming back with a fire lit under his ass, just kicking everybody in sight.
I know. That Black Master Lars Sullivan was amazing.
I mean, when Aleister Black was coming in like a bat out of hell, I thought that was so fun. So, we'll go with that feud.
All right. The promo pick of the week from yours truly. Carmella's Money in the Bank controversy, Smackdown Live, June 20th, 2017. This is after James Ellsworth climbs up the ladder and retrieves the briefcase for her. And, she talks about how, Kane did it for help Seth out in 2014. Bray cost Roman in 2015, all this other stuff. How she talks about how she was the rightful winner and all this other stuff. So, it was a simple promo. It was fine. I enjoyed it. Thoughts?
The first ever Money in the Bank winner was women's Money in the Bank winner was won by a man.
Yes.
Never forget.
Never forget.
Women's Evolution, everybody.
Never forget.
So, anyways, my match pick of the week. I took a week off last week because I was on assignment. But this week, last time I was here, I promised I was going to pick a better ECW match.
Hold on.
Than that hot garbage you said of that triple threat match from wherever it was.
Wait a second.
What?
I'm offended.
Well, you should be offended by that atrocious match pick you had. So my pick, I was like, okay, what's the best ECW match they have? So you know what I did? I Googled best ECW match. And I went on Bleacher Report, and it said the best ECW match was Rob Van Dam versus Jerry Lynn from Hardcore Heaven from May 16th, 1999, which is my brother's birthday, by the way. My brother's birth date, born on this very day.
Your brother was born on a very nice day, then.
Yeah. But it was a good match for the TV title. But I would not say this was the best ECW match I've ever seen. I know when people think of ECW, they think of garbage wrestling, but ECW had a lot of good technical stuff, and I love technical stuff. It definitely holds up a lot better than a bunch of unprotected chair shots to the head, which this had some chair shots to it.
Yes.
But it was a really good match, don't get me wrong, but I think there's a better match that has the same style. Maybe not the same style, but they didn't even use any hardcore elements, and I think you know which match I'm talking about if you know ECW history, but I'll pick it next time.
Yes. I watched it today. I liked it. Innovative stuff from RVD.
And RVD looks the same 20 years ago as he does today.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Shout out Jerry Lynn. Jerry Lynn...
He looked like Kenny Omega, dude.
Jerry Lynn is honestly probably the most underrated wrestler maybe ever, but definitely the last 20 years.
Yeah, I didn't realize how much Jerry Lynn looked kind of like Kenny Omega. I feel like I was watching Omega versus
What do you mean?
RVD.
Kenny Omega looks like Jerry Lynn. Jerry Lynn came first.
True, you're right. My bad. I feel like I was watching Omega versus RVD. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we got to wrap it up. Follow us on Twitter at BulletCast, Instagram The BulletCast, YouTube channel The BulletCast. Email us BulletCast2 as in the number 2, sweet SWEET at gmail.com. 99.9 FM KW in Watsonville every Friday night from 10 to 11 p.m. Ladies and gentlemen, we're on iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, TuneIn, Google Play. We're on iHeartRadio. We're doing it all over the damn place. This Sunday, WWE Evolution, the BulletCast Championship's on the line, the NXT Women's title's on the line, the Smackdown Live Women's title's on the line, the Raw Women's title's on the line. It's a lot going down. I'm excited for this show. You? Any other thoughts, comments, concerns?
Get well, Roman. Kick cancer's ass.
Yes, go do it, Roman. From one big dog to another. You fight that fight. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we will see you next time.
This has been the BulletCast. Thank you for listening.